Before the days of unlimited talk and text, we used telephones in our homes that had this lanyard, a cord that plugged into the wall, and there was no such thing as unlimited talk and text. In fact, any call beyond your local dialing area was considered long distance, and that was about 50 cents or more per minute. Now, if you'll remember, if you're old enough, back in the 1980s, companies like AT&T, Sprint, MCI had relentless campaigns to get you to switch to their economical long-distance plans at a mere 40 cents a minute, a whopping 20% off. Well, for years, I marketed MCI long distance as an independent agent, and MCI furnished me with these really slick brochures. They were created probably by the very best Madison Avenue marketing firms, and of course, they outlined the compelling wisdom of their offer and had these beautiful graphics interwoven. I mean, really nice. They must have been very expensive to produce, and I was quite grateful for the company's support. Well, I found a clever venue to find literally hundreds of prospects. I would pay $15 for a booth at the local flea market. Now, if you've ever been to one of these big flea markets, you'll know that the booths, the vendor booths, are generally packed to overflowing with things like, junk. But not mine. No, I had a nice tablecloth, and I would put these brochures on there, and that's all there was. And people would walk by, and they'd kind of scan my booth, and they'd stop, and they'd get this, whimsical look in their face and quiz me, what are you selling? Well, that's a salesman's dream. I don't have to chase anybody down. They're coming to me asking me, what are you selling? So I was obliged, of course, to tell them. Now, other vendors, they're out there barking like, sideshow host at the circus, chasing people down the aisles as they walked away, but not me. People were coming to me asking me what I was selling. Well, I would, explain the virtues of, switching to MCI and this new standard of living that they would enjoy as a result of the savings that would accrue to them. And they would smile and pleasantly, courteously accept the brochure and say something like, they were going to go home and talk to their wife or some other form of boss, and they'd get back to me. The problem is that in spite of handing out thousands of those really slick brochures, I never did get that call. Hello, talked it over with my wife. We're ready to sign up. This never happened. In fact, I'd take a break and walk down to the restroom at the flea market, and as I walked by the garbage can, guess what I found in the garbage can? But one day, that changed. I remember it well. It was a windy March day. And that sense of panic that comes over you, that cold blood, chills and all, because I was going to run out of brochures. I knew it. And sure enough, by noon, I had run out of brochures. So here I am, standing behind my booth with a nice tablecloth, looking like an idiot. But, people walk by and they'd look over, look at my table, and there was nothing there. And they'd say, well, what are you selling? So I did the best I could with what I had. I would simply explain what the brochure would have said if I had it. And they would say, well, do you have a brochure? And I would say the truth. Nope. I ran out of them. Is there any reason you can't just decide right now? Guess what many of them did? Signed up. I hit the jackpot. Yeah. Well, I incorporated this technique later on with a group of traveling salesmen that worked under me. And it was so successful that, they sold thousands of signups. And my company was awarded a Lincoln Town Car at the annual sales convention. We were the top company in the whole United States. You see, brochures are deal killers. Instead of calling for a decision, we give them their ticket to exit the sales environment. We did everything to send them on their way, never to be seen or heard from again in most cases. Hope you'll keep that in mind when sharing the gospel. I'm afraid that there are possibly legions in hell who have been given very nice brochures and an invitation to come to our church and hear our great pastor. It's my understanding that it is our job to lead them to Christ, not to invite them to church so the pastor can lead them to Christ. If you truly believe that becoming a Christian is a good thing, don't kill the deal. Invite them to pray the sinner's prayer for salvation on the spot. I am testifying to you from my own experience. It works. Well, that's what I think, but I would be interested in your thoughts, and there's lots of ways you can hit me up. You can leave your comments down below. I'd welcome them. You can follow me on Twitter. I am at DataGenesis. You can subscribe to my blog. The address is up there, datagenesis.wordpress.com. I'd like to invite you somewhere. I would give you a brochure, but I don't have any, and I couldn't hand it to you over the electronic waves that make this possible. PJNet's chat room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is frequented. I hang out there a lot, but it's frequented by a lot of brothers and sisters in Christ that I have really come to know as part of the family. And I really believe you would enjoy it. And I would like you not to put it off. I'd like you to make a decision right now to go to patriotjournalist.com. And in the center of the page, you will find a link to live #rallies. And I would welcome to see you there. And I know you'd enjoy it. And you'll want to come back again and again and again.